I think when you work hard as a team for 18 weeks, you deserve to be called the champions of India. And at the minimum that you deserve is an AFC slot.
What's up guys, this is a special episode from us at Sportskeeda and we're here to talk to you about the AFC Cup. Now every year India sends two teams to the AFC Cup where they have to first go through playoffs and then get into the group stages. So Minerva Punjab has a playoff in the AFC Champions League, while ISL champions Chennai FC have a playoff in the AFC Cup. Now Minerva plays Saipa from Iran, while Chennaiyan play the winner of either Transport United or Colombo from Bhutan and Sri Lanka respectively. But that's not what we really want to talk about. This is a normal phenomenon and it's the first time Chennai in the AFC Cup. But what we want to talk about is what Sunil Chhetri had to say about who should go to the AFC Cup. So Sunil Chhetri feels that the AFC Cup slot should go to the table toppers of the ISL. Now as you all know, last season BFC topped the table with an 8-point lead. They finished the table after 18 games with 40 points, while Chennai finished second with 32. But as you know, the ISL format has 4 teams going into the semi-finals and the finals. Now Chhetri feels the semi-finals and finals are just for show, it's just for the fans, it's good for TRPs. But he feels that a team that tops the league should be going to the AFC Cup. In his words, those who struggled hard for 18 weeks with injuries and suspensions and whatnot, he feels that team is the team that should be going to the AFC Cup, basically the league toppers. But after this video was posted, there was an immediate backlash, especially from Chennaiyan fans who feel he was taking a dig at the club. Now, Aravind, the main talking point about this particular video that Chhetri posted on Twitter is the timing. So a lot of fans feel it wasn't timed right because it was just 2 days before the AFC Cup draw and Chennaiyan were to know who they were supposed to play. But when is the right time to talk about something like this?
I understand where these fans are coming from. It's just 2 days before the AFC Cup draw that he releases a video, and immediately there is a huge uproar on social media against Sunil Chhetri. Why are you targeting us always is what they are asking. So the timing, he could have chosen right after the ISL final or right after Bengaluru FC crashed out of the AFC Cup when they lost in the interzonal semi-final. Both these moments were times that Bengaluru FC knew that they were not going to be part of the AFC Cup for the next season, because even if Bengaluru FC had won that interzonal final and then the AFC Cup final, the defending champions are not given a slot in the next season. So Bengaluru FC, Sunil Chhetri could have raised this point back then that even though if we win this competition, we will not be part of the AFC Cup. So probably the table toppers should get the slot. Or just after the ISL final, when even Gurpreet said that the league winners, we are the league winners because we topped the table. He didn't talk about the AFC Cup specifically, but Sunil Chhetri could have opened up this topic back then.
Yeah, so like he said, Gurpreet had said it just after the final, and a lot of people branded him a sore loser because of the way he said it. But the problem was Gurpreet had said it even before the semis and the finals. As soon as Bengaluru FC were confirmed the table toppers, he had put a hashtag saying "League hoti to kya hota," which translates to what would have happened if this was a league. And Adi, I'm going to ask you. So Chhetri had also mentioned this was the second time it's happened to him. Yeah. When he was in Mumbai City, they had topped the table in 2016. And obviously till now no table topper has won the ISL, and now that the AFC Cup slot has come into the picture, he obviously feels a little aggrieved. It's twice that's happened to him now, and it's a big blow to take for a club that has ambitions of playing in Asia. So what is your take on this? When is the right time to talk about this, and when is the right time to bring it up?
For me, like, talking about the whole situation it feels like a lose-lose situation for the guy who's talking about it. Yeah. Because whatever these players, anyone who's talking about the format, the first thing that's thrown on their face is you knew the format before you joined the ISL. Why did Bengaluru FC join the ISL? So that is not Sunil Chhetri or Gurpreet Singh Sandhu's prerogative. Bengaluru FC joining the ISL was a decision taken by people who are employed by the club to take those decisions. Chhetri and Gurpreet are employed by the club to play football in what tournament the club plays in. So there is really a lose-lose situation, because anytime you bring it up, you know that the backlash is coming. Yeah. Gurpreet, you saw with Gurpreet, he did it before the playoffs started, there was backlash. He did it immediately after the final, there was backlash. Chhetri's done it at the start of a new season. There's backlash. So there really doesn't feel like there is a right time to bring this up. And I mean, it is an issue that, irrespective of the timing, it is an issue that needs to be brought up, because a league cannot really survive for too long when the playoff format is still in place. The playoffs are good for whatever reasons they are good, but with the AFC Cup slot and other things that come with the ISL from last season onwards, there must be some way to reward the table toppers as well. So, for example, in Australia, the A-League winners, the A-League has a playoff as well.
Yeah.
But both the playoff winners and the league stage toppers have been given continental spots. So again, this is down to the IFF whether they can do something, get more continental spots for India maybe, which is a long shot. But something really has got to be done about the format, because it's not the best format, let's be honest.
Yeah, so speaking about the format a little more, if you look at the I-League and the ISL, the I-League always has a title race which invariably goes down to the last 2 rounds of fixtures, right? It's not the same case with the ISL. Now, the ISL has that safety of the top 4. That's the problem which the ISL teams will have to look at, because for them a top 4 is the main priority when the league starts, not being the table topper, because once you know you're in the top 4, you know you can go to the semi-finals and then up your game there and probably win the trophy. But because of that, you see a huge imbalance in the table. You see a couple of teams taking it seriously and they go to the top 2, and the rest are just trying to squeeze into the top 4 just to reach that semi-final spot. And that's where the ISL becomes less competitive compared to the I-League. If you saw the I-League last season, there were so many permutations and combinations on the final day of the season because it was so competitive and everyone wanted to win the title. And in the ISL, that wasn't the case. You had one runaway leader and then you had 3 other teams who made it into the top 4 without any hassle. So that is something that they will also have to look into, and the format is something that will probably need to change, especially once the leagues are merged. Okay, now that we've addressed the timing of when this kind of announcement should be made, Aravind, I'll ask you, what was the best way to actually approach this kind of subject? How should Chhetri have gone about it if this was not the right way to go about it?
So many times Sunil Chhetri has taken up topics that are against players or against the league or against anything against Indian football. He's taken it up directly with the AIFF. There are rumours that he went to the AIFF for the sacking of Stephen Constantine. So with such an important topic, why did he choose to post it on Twitter? And he said that I am just putting a thought out there. So it's Sunil Chhetri. Sunil Chhetri, you and I can put a thought out there and discuss all this without fearing any backlash. But Sunil Chhetri is someone who is taken seriously. Any word that comes out of his mouth will be considered a news piece. The media will hound him for it. Tomorrow, JJ can put a thought out and defend Chennai FC's right to play in the AFC Cup because they qualified in the right way. They qualified, whatever the format was there, they finished it, and now they deserve to be there, is what he will say. So I think he should have taken it up with the AIFF directly or the ISL and then bargained for the right to play in the AFC Cup for the table toppers instead of putting a thought out there.
Okay, so no, but what Chhetri is saying, he's not saying Chennai don't deserve to be there, right?
Yeah.
So Adi, I'll ask you, what is the right way to go about this? If suppose the AFF sometimes has that anti with the ISL taking things into their own hands. So how else can Chhetri or even any other player actually approach this situation?
See, that's the problem, right? In most countries, you have a federation which is the be-all and end-all of anything that's to do with football.
Yeah.
Here, there is this different variable called FSDL, which runs the ISL. So, I mean, nobody is taking Chennai's right to play the AFC Cup away from them. As Aravind said, the format was there. They won the final fair and square. They're playing the AFC Cup. But I mean, for future ISLs, this is something that has to be really thought of by both the ISL, the federation. Somebody needs to step in and ensure that consistency is rewarded, most of all. I mean, see, the format ensured that it didn't matter in the end. But no team in Indian football, in the I-League or the ISL, dominated a league stage like Bengaluru did the ISL last year. I think it was Dempo back in 2009 who won by 11 points, and the biggest points difference from then till 2018 was Bengaluru.
Okay.
So I think it's that kind of domination. If you're not rewarding that kind of domination, then what's the point of playing 18 games? You might as well have a knockout cup.
Yeah.
the AFC recognizes the ISL as India's premier knockout cup anyway.
Yeah.
So why are you playing 18 games if it's a knockout cup and only the playoff matters and not the 18 games that come prior to it? So again, see what's gone. 4 years we've had, 5th year we're having the same format. The teams have to adhere to what's given to them. But in the future, it is an open secret that the ISL is in the very near future going to become India's top division. India's top division has to have some way to reward consistency.
Alright, that's about all we have for this video. Let us know in the comments or in the tweets, what your thoughts are on this situation. Whether the AFC Cup slot should go to the ISL champions or the table toppers of the league. And we'll be back for our next video next week. Okay? And until then, it's goodbye.